Right, we've just got in Guilin after a 25-hour train journey, which wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near. In fact, the plane over here was a lot worse, and yeah, half the time. No, not half the time, but a lot less time. Yeah, so the hotel in Guilin looks a little something like this. Yeah, pretty cheap. It was £25 a night for this one room. And we're only here for the one night because we're getting a Lee River cruise to Yangshuo tomorrow. Keeps losing focus. Yeah, not much of a view. Here's the bathroom with no door, as you can see. And yeah, when we first got in, we didn't realise that this blind actually retracted, so we kind of thought that we might have to witness each other taking a crap at some point. So there's glass through there, and there's the toilet. So yeah, kind of panicked for a moment, but there's still no door. So so yeah, what's happened since last time? Well, we spent our last day in Chengdu because we had to get the train at 3:20, so we didn't really do much. We went to Bai Hua Tan Park, which we heard had some nice tea houses, and we've got a bit of a thing for tea houses at the moment. Yeah, it really is relaxing to just sit there drinking tea, ever refillable tea as well, and just watch people go by, and you know, it's usually a nice day and everything. So but we weren't there long when we got accosted by a shitload of Chinese people. It started off with a man and a woman who would they came over and said massage, we said no, and then she just started massaging me anyway, and it felt so good that I didn't ask her to stop. So anyway, and then the guy that was with her ended up massaging Luke. And it was really, it was quite nice actually. It was worth the money. Full upper and lower body massage while we were sitting there sipping our tea and everything. So it was quite nice.
Didn't touch my area, by the way.
Yeah, they're all legit massages we've had so far, by the way. So what else? Yeah, then this old guy came up and started trying to read Luke's palm, but he was having none of it. So then he started working on me. And at this point I didn't really think you'd have to pay, or at least if you had to pay you wouldn't have to pay that much, but yeah, I couldn't understand what he was saying. In my very limited Chinese I managed to work out a few things, but actually I've still got the list. There was a group of Chinese guys sat opposite us, and one of them spoke very limited English, so with the help of his limited English, my limited Chinese,
I think it was a con,
and Chinese to English, English to Chinese dictionary, we managed to figure out what this old guy was telling us. So this is my fortune, my palm reading. My family are very good. He said, 工作很好. So I don't know whether that means I've got a good job, I'm going to get a good job, or whether it means I'm a good worker. So that could be interpreted in a few ways. I'm going to live to 90 years old apparently, which I don't think so. That's it. He said I'm beautiful. Yeah, I'm beautiful. I've got a strong mum and dad. I'm strong. I've got a good heart, and I didn't know whether to interpret that as my heart physically is good, is strong, or whether I've got a good heart as in I'm a nice person. So, oh, and also I'm going to have a pretty wife and 3 boys, 3 sons. So at the time, I mean, back home I'm pretty anti-superstition. I don't believe in any of it. It's all mumbo jumbo to me. But yeah, when I was here, he was telling me all this stuff, and I'm going, oh really, right, well that's fantastic, and I was actually sort of buying into it. And then after we paid the guy and we left to go and catch our train, I was sort of walking along thinking, well, if he told me I'm going to live till 30, I'm going to have an ugly wife and I'm going to be infertile and have no children, then I probably wouldn't have. Then obviously he wouldn't have got much money out of me. So I think, as much as I'd like to believe it all, I think it's probably bullshit. It all seems a bit too positive to be true, unfortunately.
What was the original price again? 15 quid?
Yeah, he tried to charge me 150 yuan, which is about £15. So I wasn't having any of that, so I think got him down to 70 yuan, which is about £7. So probably a little bit cheaper than you'd pay back home for having your palm read.
I think it's a con because when that man came over and he read it all, when you gave him money and you looked away, they were splitting it straight there and then.
Yeah, for his translation.
Yeah, half and half.
It wasn't half and half.
It was.
Well, whichever.
That's what
I think it was just basically because he'd helped the guy translate to me and therefore earn both of them someone. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So then what did we do? We went and got the train. And yeah, that's it. The Chengdu train station's a bit weird. It's massive. So anyway, we didn't know where we were going, so we went to I just picked somebody who worked there at random and just asked where the check-in desk, where the ticket desk was, to exchange our e-ticket for the proper ticket. And this nice girl came and just took us straight to the front of the queue. Yeah, just jumped the queue for us, got our tickets for us, and that was really nice of her, so we were quite happy about that. Then we got on the train, and it was pretty alright. Like I said, I was dreading 25 hours on the train, but I slept most of it. And then when we got up this morning, I was going to have a smoke down one of the. You can smoke on trains in China, by the way, which is pretty awesome because I don't think I can go 25 hours without one. Yeah, and I was just sort of stood there having a cigarette, and this guy walked past, and he sort of looked away and then double took and looked at me again, and he just started talking to me, and what I thought would be a short conversation turned out to be pretty much 2 hours. We spent about half an hour talking at this little smoking area, and then he invited me back to his, compartment. And yeah, we were speaking in there. He gave us an absolutely beautiful rendition of Nessun Dorma about 4 times. It turns out his hobby is opera music, but I think Nessun Dorma is probably the only song he knew. But he was interested to know all about my country and all about Europe and stuff like that. And he had a bit of a fascination with Germany, all things German. He kept talking to me in what little bit of German he must have known, and I kept having to remind him that I'm not German. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we just had a little chat. He spoke all about. In fact, it was quite strange because one of the things that all the guidebooks say not to mention is things like Chairman Mao and the Cultural Revolution and all the rest of it. But he brought it up, and he was quite happy to talk about it. He said that in some ways he liked Mao for his dream and for the passion that he had, but he said at the same time he didn't like him because he's caused so much trouble and stuff like that for China. So that was quite interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wait. As we were leaving, he was saying something like...
oh yeah, it was a weird way to finish, yeah.
He was saying, right, yeah, we can be friends right now, but if China and England went to war, we have to stick to our own countries, we can't be friends no more. And I thought, that's not a nice way of saying, bye mate.
It's not, yeah,
nice
he was just shook our hand and said, right, goodbye and all the rest of it, have a safe journey, and he just ended it with, at the moment we're friends, but one day we could be enemies, and I just thought, right, okay. So, yeah, and also, if you ever order lobster in China, chances are it's probably not going to be lobster.
It's going to be shrimp.
We got out of the train station in Guilin and went to go and get something to eat, and Luke spotted lobster on the menu, which he jumped at the chance to get, and it came out and it was this tiny ass little shrimps with the head still on as well. So
yeah, how are you going to eat shrimp with chopsticks?
Yeah, so just a little word of warning there, it's probably not going to be lobster, it's just a bad translation of shrimp or prawns or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, pretty late. We didn't get into Guilin till 10 to 5. It's about 7, half 7 now. So we're just going to have a little mooch around the area, and we're going on the Lee River cruise to Yangshuo tomorrow. So probably update them.